Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hey guys, hello. Hi everybody. I hope all of you all are doing absolutely well and good. And I'm so happy to meet all my talented bunch of people right again, right over here. And for anybody who's new here and meeting me for the first time, hi guys, my name is Niharika and I'm going to be conducting your class 1 for botanicals with oil pastels. So we have two different things over here. So number one is botanicals and second is oil pastels. So let's understand both of these first. Botanicals is nothing but the study of plants. So anything which is related to plants or related to uh, trees or any of those plants, then that particular term, that study of plant in scientific term is called as botanical. So hence, this is botanicals with oil pastels, and oil pastels is going to be our medium for this course. So we're going to explore this whole world of oil pastels and try making realistic artworks with this medium. There's another thing that is going to be special in this course. So with this course, we are going to have different kind of illustrations. It could be either plants, it could be florals or anything. So what we would be doing is that I'm not going to name that plant or name that particular flower right at the start of this class. I'll start the class, we will draw the illustrations together, and by the end of this class, when we have our whole artwork in front of us, let's see if anybody of you could guess the name of the plant or the flower. Okay, so I'm not going to reveal any of the flower names before we just reach towards the end of this class. By the end of this class, let's see if anybody could guess the name of the flowers, or yes, or if anybody could just simply guess the name of the flower. And if not, then we will be discussing about that plant and I'll share some crazy facts about it with you as well. So make sure you're sticking in till the end of this course and quickly give me a thumbs up if you're ready for the fun activity to begin. You're ready to explore the world of oil pastels, ready to explore the world of botanicals. Quickly give me a thumbs up and then I'll quickly get this class started. Any thumbs ups coming in the chat section? Then I'll share the screen. We'll discuss the art materials that we need for today's class and then we'll simply quickly give me thumbs ups in the chat section. I'll share the screen and then we'll get started. So give me a thumbs up that yes, ma'am, we're excited for today's class and let's just get started. Yes, I need the thumbs ups rolling in. Good. Let me quickly share the screen with you. Okay, I hope you can see the screen now. And as you all know, we are going to discuss about the art materials in details. So don't worry, I'll be discussing the art materials, sharing the close substitutes of the art materials as well. So I see the thumbs coming in that, yes, ma'am, we can get started with the class. So without any further do's, let us get straight into today's fun activity. Yes, so we'll first discuss the art materials that we need for today's class. So the first you need an A5 size white drawing sheet. So this is an A5 size white drawing sheet. If you have an A4 size of white drawing sheet, you can simply cut it into half and you will have an A5 size of white sheet. In case you're not having white paper, you're having any other color of paper, you can make use of that paper as well. In case you don't have any of these sheets, you can simply take a page from your notebook and get started with today's activity. That's the first material that we need in today's class. That's a basic A5 size white drawing sheet. Second, you need a pencil. Make sure it is sharpened well. That's the second material. We need a pencil. Third, we need these cotton earbuds. So I have these earbuds. I have around 4 to 5 in these. So make sure you also have cotton earbuds. If you don't have these, you can still take part in today's fun activity. But in case you have those at your place, just make sure that at least 3 to 4 of these earbuds are there with you. Next, you need these oil pastels. So we are here for exploring the world of oil pastels, right? So this is the most crucial part of our material list. These are the oil pastels. I'm going to be discussing the shades very well, but in case you're not having oil pastels, you need not worry. You can simply use wax crayons or normal crayons that you have at your place, okay? But in case you're having oil pastels, preferably make use of these oil pastels only. In case you don't have oil pastels, you can use your wax crayons or simple plastic crayons or any kind of colors that you have. Okay, so let's discuss the shades that we need in today's class. First, I have a yellow shade. Next is a red shade. Then we have a light green and a dark green. And the last two are white and black. Let me quickly repeat the shades for you. That's yellow, red, light green, dark green, white, and black. In case you're not having any of these shades, it's totally fine. That's totally fine if you're not having the exact same shades, but a close substitute would be fine as well. So that's yellow, red, light green, dark green, white, and black. Okay, so these are the oil pastels that we need in today's class. Okay, and the last material is a scale. So either a short scale or a ruler that you have, that would totally work. In case you're not having these rulers, it's totally fine again. You can skip the process where I use this ruler. But in case you're having a ruler or a scale at your place, make sure you're having it right with you for this activity. Okay, so that's the ruler that I have. Okay, these are the materials that we need in today's class. So I hope you all have more or less the same art materials or the close substitutes of these art materials to get started with today's class. Okay, so as we all know, we are not going to reveal the name of the flower till the time we are done with this artwork, till the time we are done with the illustration of this plant. So we'll see if anybody could guess the name of this plant by the end of this class. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you what kind of plant we are drawing. We'll simply get started and let's see if anybody could name this flower or the plant. Okay, so these are the art materials that we need. And now let's get started with the class. So first I'm just going to take the pencil and the scale, and I'm going to draw thick margins around the four sides of my sheet. So I'm drawing a thick margin or on all the four sides of the sheet. In case you're not having a scale, you may skip this process. That's totally fine as well. But in case you're having a scale, make sure you're drawing thick margins on all four sides of your sheet. Okay, I'm going to just draw margins on all the sides, the four sides of the sheet. So I'm drawing thick margins over here. Okay, awesome. So I'm just done with giving this margins on all four sides. Okay, so if you see, I've just taped down this paper so that it doesn't move. So just give margins on all four sides. And now just don't draw anything beyond that margin. So we're just going to draw within that margin only. Okay, we're going to stay within those margins that we have already drawn. In case you have not drawn margins, that's totally fine as well. Don't worry. You can just simply start with the process I'm beginning right now. Okay. So just after you're done with the margins, or in case you have skipped the step of making margins, we shall now get started with drawing a rough sketch for this botanical part of our class. Okay, so first all of you all just carefully observe, keep your materials down. First, just look at the screen and observe how I draw. Don't worry, I would be repeating it again for you, but just for now, keep your materials down and just simply observe what I draw. Okay, so I'm going to take this pencil first and just towards the bottom left of my sheet, just towards the bottom left, I draw a tiny circle. If you just see the circle, just towards the bottom left of my sheet, I have enough gap at the sides as well. So just roughly at the bottom left of the sheet, just locate it in a way that there's good amount of gap at the sides as well. Okay, so I just draw a tiny circle. Then I create a leaf or a flower petal shape. That's a regular flower petal shape that I've drawn. So first I start by drawing a tiny circle. Then I just simply draw this flower petal shape. So this is slightly taller in size if you could see. So make sure that your drawing is slightly taller and there's enough gap inside this flower petal as well. Okay, so that's the first petal that I've drawn. Now, just towards the left side, draw a line which is parallel to the outer petal. If you just look at this line that I've drawn, I start from one top edge of this petal and I draw a line which is parallel to the outer petal shape, and I extend this line right till the center of the flower, the tiny circle that I've drawn. Okay, so this is simply the first petal of a flower, and all we're going to do now is going to repeat the same flower petal throughout the sides. We'll surround this tiny circle with this petal shape. Okay, so here's a quick recap. Now you can draw along with me. We start by drawing a tiny circle first. I'm just drawing a tiny circle. Then I draw a petal shape, which is slightly larger and taller. Okay, then from one side, I just draw a line which is parallel to the petal shape, the outer curve petal line, just drawing another line which is parallel to the outer curve of the petal. Okay, so now we're just going to repeat this process and draw another patterns or another petals of the flower as well. Okay, so just next to it, I'm going to again first draw a petal shape, and then we'll draw a line which is again parallel to the outer petal curve. So did you see that? I just draw this petal shape. I just drew this petal shape, and then I gave another curved line which is parallel to the outer petal curve. Okay, so this is simply the same thing as the previous one, the first petal that we have drawn. And now we're just going to make these petals around it. Okay, so again, drawing a petal shape and then drawing a curved line which is parallel. Okay, let's make another one next to it. So I've just done 3 of these. Make sure you're not drawing more than 5 petals. We need not have more than 5 petals to this flower because this flower naturally doesn't have more than 5 petals. Okay, if you could just see, I've drawn 5 petals and I've also made these curved lines inside each petal which is parallel to the outer curved lines. Okay, so in case you haven't followed this, I'm quickly repeating a little bit of it for you. I'm just done with 3 of these petals. I'll just draw another petal now and then the similar curved line is what I'm drawing. So this is the last petal now and I draw a curved line inside. Okay, so just the similar flowers, exactly the similar flower. We'll just make another one above it. So let's start by drawing the same flower a little above this. So first make a tiny circle. Just make a tiny circle. Draw one petal first. Then we give a parallel line and the same for the next petal as well. So again, just make sure that you're not having more than 5 petals in your flower. Okay, so we need to have only 5 petals in this flower. And I'm just simply repeating this process. I'm drawing this petal first and then I just draw a curved line which is parallel. So again, if you see, I've not added more than 5 petals to my flower again. Okay, so if you see, I've just drawn 2 of these flowers. I'm just going to add a tiny one up here because I feel there's lots of empty space here. So I'm just going to draw a tiny one over here, just in the similar manner. Let's get started with the third flower as well. So now let's draw this petal and add a parallel line. Again, drawing a petal, adding a parallel line. So I'm just repeating the same process and I'm making this little tiny to fit into that space. Okay. Okay. So if you see, I'm just staying within the margins only. Make sure that you're not going outside the margins. In case you have not drawn the margin, that's totally fine as well. Okay. So I've just drawn 3 of these flowers. I hope you are all with me as well. So we are done with drawing or creating a rough sketch of these 3 flowers. Now let's add some leaves and a stem to this flower as well. Okay. I'm just going to first draw leaves around it and the stem as well. So just below this middle flower, I'm drawing a leaf. So a simple leaf, just a regular one. Just look at these 2 curved lines that I've drawn. Just below this middle leaf shape, I'm drawing the middle flower. I'm drawing a leaf below it. Okay. So in case you're not having enough space at that area, you can add a tiny leaf as well. Okay. So I just draw a leaf shape for the middle flower, then I draw the same leaf shape for the first flower as well. Make sure you're within the margins again. One next to this top flower. Okay. If you see, I've just drawn 3 of these leaf shapes. In case you haven't followed this, here's a quick recap for you. So I start by drawing a leaf shape below the middle flower, just drawing 2 curved lines with a pointed end, just a regular leaf shape. The same leaf shape I'm drawing below the first flower as well. And the same for the top flower towards this side now. So drawing a leaf shape right over here. Okay, so now let's draw some veins for these leaves. So just the lines that you observe on a simple regular leaf, those lines which are running in the leaf are called as veins of the leaf. Okay, so we're just going to draw these veins now. So we start by drawing a central line and then simply drawing these curved lines as the veins of the leaf. So just drawing these veins of the leaf. Similarly for the bottom leaf as well, drawing a central line and then these curved lines at both the sides. Similarly for the top leaf as well, drawing a central line and then simple curved lines at both the ends. Okay, I'm done with drawing the leaf. I'm going to now add a stem to this. So just between the first and the second flower. If you see, I have a little bit of gap over here. So I'm just going to draw a stem, which is nothing but 2 curved lines again, just to join them. So I'm just going to draw this stem between the first and the second flower. In case you don't have enough gap between these flowers, you can just skip this process. So I'm going to add a stem here. I'll add a stem below the first flower as well, and a stem which is connecting to the middle stem as well. So if you see, I've just drawn 3 of these stems, one just below the first flower, another one between the first and the second flower, and the third flower has a stem which is connected to this particular stem. Okay, so in case you're not having the exact amount of space to draw these stems, you can just simply skip this process. Okay, so I'm just done with drawing the rough sketch. This rough sketch for our illustration is ready. We all know that we're not going to reveal the name of the flower. Let's see once we get started with adding colors, if anybody is able to guess the name of this flower. Okay, so we have just the rough sketch of our illustration right in front of us. It's now time to take your oil pastels and then we can just get started with colors. Okay, so quickly give me a thumbs up if you're ready with your oil pastels and you're done with the rough sketch as well. I'm giving you 10 seconds for the thumbs up to come in that yes ma'am, we're done with the rough sketch and let's get started with the oil pastels as well now. So quickly give me a thumbs up, giving you 10 seconds from now. Give me a thumbs up that yes, we're done with the rough sketch and then let's just start adding colors to it. Yes, I see thumbs ups coming in that yes, we're done with the rough sketch. I also see few of you are showing your rough sketches to me in front of the screen. All super talented bunch of people ready with their rough sketches. So let's dive straight into the oil pastels now. Let's add some colors to our flowers and let's see if anybody is able to guess the name of the flower as well. Okay, so I'm going to just take my oil pastels now. We'll start by taking the red oil pastel. Again, everybody, just for a moment, have your eyes on the screen and observe this process. Okay, so first, I'm just going to start with the first bottom flower. All of y'all just carefully observe this process, and then when I repeat the step, y'all can start along with me. Okay, so first, quickly observe the process for adding colors. So I'll start with this bottom flower, zooming in a little for you. So I'm just taking this red oil pastel. That's the red oil pastel that I have. I'll just simply give some strokes, light strokes at the middle. Okay, now carefully listen to me. The gap that we have between the parallel lines, this gap where my pencil point is marking on, we need not add any colors to that area. This gap, we are not going to add any colors in that area. Okay, so make sure you're not adding colors to that gap between the parallel lines or the curved lines that we have on one side of the petal. Okay, so I've just added little tiny red strokes from the central area in the petal. I'll just repeat the same thing for the other petals as well, just in the middle section. We're not going to do it throughout, just light strokes. Similarly for the next petal as well. And again, a reminder that we do not paint, or we do not add colors in the gap which is there on the sides of the petals. Okay, so we are not applying any color at the sides. Similarly for the other petals as well, just adding the central strokes first. So if you see, I've just added light simple strokes with the oil pastel at the central area. Now I'm going to take a cotton earbud, that's a cotton earbud, and we're just going to blend this oil pastel. So this is a technique of using oil pastels where we blend the color with the paper. So I'm just going to rub this earbud over the red oil pastel that we have made strokes with. Just look at the effect that we create with the help of earbuds. Just simply rub your earbud over the strokes that we have given, just on that area where we have given strokes. Okay, so in case you haven't followed this, let's quickly get started right from the beginning. So we start by taking a red oil pastel. We add strokes at the central area, and we do not add any color at the parallel gap that we have. So this gap that we have, we are not going to add any colors in that area. Okay, so we start by adding strokes with the red color, the red oil pastel. Similarly for the next petals as well, just rough tiny strokes with light handed. You need not apply too much of pressure. So similarly on the other petals as well. So just light-handed strokes with the red oil pastel at the central area. Then we just take a earbud, that's a cotton earbud, and we just blend this area. Blending is basically when we are just rubbing that particular section to make the colors blend with the paper. Okay, so this is the effect that is being created when we blend the oil pastel with the paper. But just using this earbud now, you can just keep your earbuds aside now. Once you're done with blending, do not apply too much of pressure while rubbing that red area, the central area. Just a little bit of pressure and moving your earbuds right at the area where we have added that red crayon color. Okay, next we are going to take a yellow color now, and just above this red color we are going to add this yellow color. So I'm just going to cover the top portion, not entirely, but I'm just going to add this yellow color above all the red strokes that we have given. So just simply because you have used earbuds to blend the red color with the paper, if you see, even the yellow color is now blending well with the red color as well. Okay, so we're just going to add yellow color above the red color now. So if you see, I have not entirely filled the petal with yellow color because we are not going to do that. Just a little portion above the red color, we are going to apply this yellow color only. Okay, so here's a quick recap for you. Just above this red strokes, I'm going to give a layer of yellow oil paste. Just a layer of yellow oil pastel above it. Okay, and now you just need to use your fingers and you all can just blend this area as well. So just using my fingers to blend this area, just move your finger above the yellow color so that it simply blends. Again, do not apply too much pressure, just simply rubbing your fingers over this petal shape lightly. Okay, and once you're done with this, if you have a white oil pastel, in case you don't have a white oil pastel, you can simply skip this process. But if you have a white oil pastel, then just the top portion of this petal, we are going to color it with white. So I'm just adding white color for the top section. In case you're not having this white oil pastel, as I said, you can skip this process. Okay. So I've just added this white color and I'm going to just blend a little bit of it. And the similar technique, exactly the similar technique with oil pastels, we are going to fill the other two flowers as well. Okay. So I'm going to move to the next flower now. I start by giving this red strokes towards the central area first. So I'm just adding these red strokes towards the central area. And a quick reminder that you need not put any color inside the parallel gap that we have in the petals. In each petal, we have a side parallel gap. You need not apply any color in that area, okay? So just done with the central red portion. Okay, gonna blend it now with the earbud. Just simply rubbing the earbud at the central section. Okay. So just rubbing it, blending it nicely with the paper. And the second step now is to add the yellow color. So exactly the same process that we followed for the first flower, we are going to repeat the same for the next flower as well. So just giving a layer of yellow color above the red color now. Same for all the petals again. Just giving a layer of yellow color. I'm gonna use my finger, blend a little bit again. Okay. Just blending a little bit and then I'll add this white top layer. As I said, if you're not having white color, it's totally fine as well. You can just simply skip this process. But in case you're having a white oil pastel, you can just rub that white oil pastel at the top section of the petal and that would give a really blended and shaded look to your petal. Okay, so I've just added this white color above the yellow color now. I'm gonna again repeat the same process. As I said, exactly the same process for all three flowers. So in case you have not followed the process up till now, I think now for one last time, you all can just have a look at the screen and you all can observe this process. But in case you have followed and you are coloring along with me, you all can start with the next flower, the third flower that we have on the top section as well. In case you haven't followed, make sure you have your materials down. You are observing the process at your screen. And then once I'm done, you all can then repeat the same process when you're just done with observing it. Okay. So on to the last flower now. So first we start by giving these red strokes, just simply adding a little bit of color to the central section, to all the petals, and we do paint inside the parallel gap. Once done, we are just going to blend it nicely. Just rub the earbud around 2 to 3 times at that area of your sheet. Do not be harsh or do not apply too much of pressure with the earbud, because then you'll just end up tearing your sheet. Just 2 3 times of rubbing that earbud onto the sheet so that the color is nicely blended with the paper. So that's the blending technique that we are going through with the oil pastels. So I just blend it nicely for all the petals. Then I add a yellow color above it. I add a yellow crayon, yellow oil pastel layer above the red central layer. Okay. Once done, I just blend a little bit of it, this time with my fingers only. Okay. And then I just top it with a white oil pastel. As I said, as I'm repeating this thing again, in case you're not having a white oil pastel, you can just simply skip this process. That's totally fine as well. Okay, so I've just done 3 of these flowers. So these are the 3 flowers that we have for today's class. In case you are able to guess the name of the flower, you all can quickly type it in the chat section. In case you're still not aware about the name of the flower, you can hold on till the end of this session and I'll disclose the name, I'll reveal the name of this flower by the end. Okay. So once we're done with the flowers, let's quickly add some colors to the stem and the leaf. So I'm just going with a light green color and just the veins of the leaf. You know the veins of the leaf? Just add this light green color over the veins of the leaf only. Just on the veins of the leaf, I'm adding this light green color. Okay, so here's a quick recap in case you haven't followed. Take a light green color and just add this light green color on the veins of the leaf, only on the veins of the leaf. Okay, and once done, now you need not use the same side of the earbud. Use the other side of the earbud. Use a fresh earbud now. The fresh side. Just simply rub that earbud onto the paper again so that it blends well with the paper. Just rub it once over the veins where we have added the light green color. Then just in between the gaps, add this dark green color. So we're just making a combination of light and dark green to make it look a little more realistic. In case you're just having one shade of green, you can just simply color the leaf of the leaf with that one single color only. So just going to add the dark green color in the gaps and then again just going to blend it nicely. So just rub the earbud at the central section now and at the veins nicely, and we're just done with the first leaf. So don't worry again in case you haven't followed the same process. I'm going to repeat the process for the second leaf as well. So make sure you're following it for the next leaf as well. Just the similar technique. In case you haven't followed, make sure you're carefully having a look at this again. So I just apply this light green color on the veins first. So just on the veins. That's the light green color that I'm adding. So on the veins, I add this light green color. Similarly, on the top leaf as well, I'll do both of these leaves simultaneously. So applying this light green color on the veins first. Then I take a dark green color and fill in the gaps now, just above and below the veins. I'm going to add this dark green color. I add this dark green color and then the same thing for the sides as well. So I cover it with the sides as well. Then I use a earbud and I just simply blend it. I just simply move that earbud on both sides of the leaf and the color automatically blends well. So the inherent ability of oil pastels is that it blends really well. It has that shading look once it is blended. You can just rub your earbuds just once at the sides of the leaves and you will automatically get this shaded look. Similarly for the top leaf as well. So I'm just going to add this dark green color in between the veins now. I've already added the light green color. So I'm on to the next step of adding the dark green color now. Okay, make sure you're not coloring inside the flowers, you're just coloring the leaves. Once done, just rub your earbud nicely on the sides to blend it well with the paper and create a shading look. So that's a simple tool that we're using for blending. That's the earbuds. In case you're not having earbuds, you all can simply use your fingers to blend it. Okay, so just rub your fingers over that color section and it will automatically blend again. Okay, so I'm just done with 3 of these leaves. I'm going to start by the stem now. So on one side of the stem, I give a dark green color. On just one side of the stem, I give a dark green color, and on the other side, I give a light green color. So again, I'm doing a little bit of shading over here of light and dark green. So on one side, I added the light green color. On the other side, I added the dark green color. So here's a quick recap in case you haven't followed the stem. So on one side, I add light green color. I'm not entirely filling dark green on the stem. On one side, I add dark green, and on the other side, I'll add a light green. So that's done as well. Okay. Again, time to blend. So just rubbing the earbud in between the stem so that it creates a shading look, a shaded look. Okay. So I'm just done with coloring the flowers and the leaves now. So if you like your artworks this way, you all can just keep it this way only. But I think I'll be giving it a background as well. So I'll just add a background to this whole artwork before we just reveal the name of this flower. So those of you all who want to give a background to this artwork can still continue with me. But if you like your artworks this way, you all can keep it this way as well. And I'm going to add a background now. So first, I'm going to just add some shadows below the leaf. So just where the leaf is adjoining the flower, I just add a layer of black and then I just smudge it, blend it with the help of my fingers. So did you see that shadow look that I've created? As I said right at the beginning of this class, I would be making this illustration a little realistic for you. So hence I'm making this shadow effect as well. In case you're not having a black oil pastel or a wax crayon, you all can skip this process again. Okay, so here's a quick recap for you. I'm going to just give a layer of black at the adjoining part of the leaf and the flower. Make sure you're not putting any color inside the flower. And then I just blend it downwards with my finger. And that's the same thing that I've done for the next flower as well. I first just give a layer of black at the adjoining portion, the area where the flower and the leaf are meeting, I'm just giving a layer of black there, and I then smudge it nicely with my fingers only. The same thing for the top section as well now. So I just add a layer of black to the adjoining portion, and then I quickly smudge it with my fingers. Okay, so I've just added the shadow look. Now I'm onto the background now. I'm going to just quickly add a background. As I said, if you want to skip this process, you can skip this process. But I'm going to be a little quick with the background now. So I'll just give a little bit of black color, just roughly. I'm going to create an abstract background. Abstract means just a rough kind of a background. So I start from one corner. Make sure you're within the margins only. Then I add the same black color to this bottom area as well. It's okay if you have a little bit of white gaps in between, because once we blend that black area with a earbud or with our fingers, it will automatically cover up all the white spaces that we have. Okay, so I've just added two of these black layers at the bottom section. Similarly, on the top section now, I'm adding this black layer just on the top section now. As far as possible, if you could just give these corners a black crayon, it would look nice. So I'm just adding this black background. Now in between the flowers a little bit. If you see there's a little bit of gap between the two flowers, I'm going to add the black color in that section as well. So just the gap that you have behind this flower plant, you all can roughly just color black at that area. Not completely now. I'm going to make use of two colors over here. So if you see, I've just done black. Now I'm going to take dark green color and just next to this black layer, I'm going to add this dark green. So I'm making use of two colors over here to add the background. And as I said, if you want to skip this background, you all can skip that as well. If you like your artwork just without the background, you all can skip this. But I would be giving it a background. So I'm just roughly adding dark green colors next to the black background that I'm trying to give, just to give it a more realistic look, make it look a little complete as well. So just next to all the areas where I've added black, you all can just roughly give this dark green color in that area. Okay, I'm almost there. So once done, I'll add a little bit of light green at this section. Also towards top now. You can just roughly add this background anywhere you want it to be like. So just roughly, I'm not using any kind of brain tricks over here where to give the background and when not to give a background. I'm just taking this color and just trying to fill the gaps that I have in between the flowers. I'm now going to blend it nicely with my fingers only. So if you see, I'm just blending it with my fingers only. So just move your finger onto that area and it automatically fills in the white spaces. So if you just have a look, it automatically fills the white spaces that we have. So blend it nicely, just apply your fingers onto that area with a little bit of pressure. If you're finding it difficult, you all can just follow the same process with a earbud itself. Okay, and I feel the fingers would make the process a little faster, and hence I am using my fingers to blend this area. There's a central section where that's having a gap. So I'll quickly fill that area. So just roughly fill the gaps between the flowers that you have. And since the area is a little towards the corner, I'll use a earbud to blend in. You all can either use a earbud or you all can use your fingers to blend. Both of these would work exactly the same. Just the thing that earbuds are for little tiny spaces or the corners where your fingers can't reach. So just blending it nicely. Wherever you see there's a little bit of white space, you can just blend it nicely with the paper to cover up all the white spaces that we have. Okay. So just filling up the white spaces that I have. And there we have our artworks ready. We have all as the background, and if you haven't added the background and like your artworks just without the background, that's fine as well. But I think now it's time to reveal the name of the flower. So the name of this flower is a plumeria. I repeat, it's a plumeria. And if you see, it has 5 petals. It has a central section of red followed by yellow, and it is typically white on the outer side. So this is a plumeria flower. The same plumeria flower also has or a different color to it. So plumeria is the one that we have drawn right now. There's another plumeria which is pink in color. Okay, so we have just drawn this yellow and red plumeria. I repeat the name time and again, it's a plumeria. So it may not be something which is so popular, or you may not have heard about this flower, or you must have seen the flower but not aware about the name of the flower. But I hope from now onwards you'll remember this flower. This is called as a plumeria. And just look how realistic we tried to make it. So I've stayed within the margins only. I added the background. I added the leaf just simply with oil paste. Okay, so that's a plumeria flower, and unpopular flower. And I hope that you are now aware of the name of the flower. And just with these oil pastels, we created this beautiful realistic artwork. And I hope that all of y'all enjoyed making this plumeria illustration, this plumeria botanical illustration with oil pastels with me. And don't forget to make your submissions right on time. Make sure you're making your submissions on time and attending all the classes, so that right towards the end of this course, once this course is done, you'll receive a certificate for this course as well. Okay, so this was class 1 of our botanicals with oil pastels, and that was the first flower for the course, and it was a plumeria. Don't forget to make your submissions, and I'll see you in the next class with yet another flower or a plant. Till then, please take care of yourself and enjoy all the hobby classes on Uolo. I'll see you in the next class. Bye-bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session, and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that, and then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at Uolo_app. I'm eagerly looking forward